as you requested, of these serial numbers of the BVRs being used for the registration exercise from the Electoral Commission, you have indicated that even though the Electoral Commission denied you these serial numbers, you have the serial numbers. You found ways to get it. And also, even the ones that were stolen, you've been able to find a way to get those serial numbers of the stolen BVRs intercepted. You won't tell us where you got it, but I hope it was not through any illegal means. But this is what the Electoral Commission put out this week. Take a look at this. They explain why they are not giving you the BVR serial numbers request. So releasing these serial numbers to any external party, including political parties, poses a substantial risk to the security and integrity of our registration processes. That is why this has never been done since biometric voting system was introduced in Ghana. And they give reasons. Compromising of kit security. The serial numbers are integral to the security framework of the BVR kits. Disclosure of these numbers could potentially allow unauthorized access to the devices. Targeted manipulation risks. Knowledge of the serial numbers could enable targeted attacks on specific BVR kits located at certain parts of the country. Phishing and fraud. Phishing is a very common term in that's technology or IT-related fraud. Serial numbers could be used to facilitate fraudulent activities, including phishing attacks, where a criminal with a serial number can trick EC personnel into believing they are registration officials, potentially leading to unauthorized persons being registered. And the final one, operational integrity. Electoral Commission maintains a structured protocol for the activation and operation of BVR kits. But in all of this, Sir Adams, you were very clear about why you needed these serial numbers to also help you do your own check. MartinKpebu, you sitting back and also monitoring what's been reported in the media with the limited voter registration access, how it started, how it's going. The Electoral Commission, after day one, did its best to correct some of these technical issues, but there were still concerns about even power outages truncating the electoral process at some centers, and then also this issue that came up with the NDC's demand. We understand four people are standing trial for the theft of these BVRs. All the 4 persons have been granted bail, and they include a data administrator, database administrator at the EC, a student who was then working at the commission, a laborer at the Electoral Commission, and also a security officer at the commission. They, according to the EC, are the ones who should be held liable for these BVRs that have been stolen. Your take on this?
Yeah, so it's good the law is taking its course, yes, because when we conduct prosecutions like that, it will send a strong message to like-minded persons that there's a price to pay if they steal government property, especially sensitive property as biometric registration devices. So it's good. Let the trial go on. And as much as possible, I hope you would cover the trials.
Indeed.
So that will serve as a reminder to all of us, a very chilling reminder that, hey, the law will come after you if you engage in such conduct. So that's my first comment. The second one is that, you see, the EC, so far, the way they handle some of these issues that have come up, have left much to be desired. You see, you should know that because of the very sensitive nature of the work they do, the least mistake will cause so much agitation, etc. So this BVD matters. I expected that, listen, as soon as those BVDs were missing and they got to know, they would willingly inform the parties through the IPAC system. You see, what you have to realize is that Ghana, this nation, yes, though we are not happy with the misgovernance, etc., but that aside, you see that we've made progress. When you see people seated, if you look, 3 people, look, be sure that most likely one would belong to a different political persuasion. Yeah? So some will be NDC, others will be MPP. So that should tell you that when you run an organization, don't think, no matter the amount of money you give, etc., to them, you would always have people who would not agree with you. So long and short, the information about the missing BVDs was bound to come out. If the EC bosses don't know this, then they still have a lot to learn. So I look at myself and I'm like, so how did the EC sit down for NDC to use its own sources, underground sources, to discover the theft of the BVRs? They say it's not the BVDs, but it's BVR, right?
That's down the laptop.
Yes, the laptops, etc. I'm like, no. Once it's EC, you should know that in the past you haven't done well. You, Jean Mensa, you are known to be related to the First Lady. Apia Hine is a party food soldier, etc. You are politically tainted. So you should know that everything that concerns you. Yeah, I think Jean Mensa is not related to the First Lady.
No, let's not be.
Yes, so they are politically tainted. So you should know that anything that comes out will bring you trouble. So anything you see that is wrong, be willing to put out the information quickly. Willing to put out the information quickly. Just like the auction of some of the old BVDs. That's also a problem that Imani is now chasing them. I'm like, yes. They say they publish the auction in the newspapers. Nowadays, how many people read newspapers? You know you have critical stakeholders. So if you want to do an auction, apart from the newspaper publication, find a way to draw the attention of your critics, the CSOs, that, oh, we'll be doing this. In case you haven't seen the newspaper publication, please, this is what is going to happen. That way you solve a lot of problems. So you see that we need a lot of foresight, You should be able to anticipate problems. If you're a boss and your anticipation is low, then sorry, you are not in the right position. You should always be able to anticipate. And this one is no brainer. It's just like the way the handlers of the economy, Baumia and Kufuado, didn't know that, look, the Ghanaian economy, after every 3 years, latest by the 4th year, the economy comes under challenges. Either cocoa will not do well, or gold will not do well, or another problem. It's been like that. That's how come we've gone to the IMF before they came about 16 times. So when you come and sit and you cannot anticipate, you don't study the trends, and then you still do business as usual like that, then it tells me that you don't have the right mindset. Your anticipation is low. You have no foresight. And it's not hindsight that we use to lead people. We use foresight. As for hindsight, in law, there's a popular saying that it's the foresight of a reasonable man that is used in determining liability when it comes to people's tortious conduct.
It's the foresight of a reasonable man.
Yeah, the foresight of a reasonable. That's what we use. So in law, we are always concerned with foresight. So if yours is hindsight, as for a fool also has this in hindsight.
The underscoring factor there is the reasonableness of the man.
Yes.
That makes the foresight even one that you take into consideration.
Good. So we're always interested in foresight. So if you are always interested in hindsight, then sorry, you can't be a leader. And that's how come they've turned out to be very poor leaders, right? Very, very poor, very shambolic, right?
So how can the commission even deal with this?
Yeah, so, look, I think they should call the parties. It's not late. Look, they can say, you know what? We've seen that so far, the manner in which we are managing these affairs is not the best. You see, Jim Mensa finally was forced to re-invite the NDC after all that. You know, earlier this year, Church was advised to re-invite NDC to the IPAC. You know, at a point, they thought they could go on without NDC. Mr. Paul Graves, am I lying? She had to tell NDC that, oh, we've missed you, come back. I said, you go talk through. So it's not late. Listen, eat humble pie. You are Jim Mensa, listen, you are not the most intelligent woman in Ghana. You are not in that office because you are the most intelligent. It's your political affiliation. So if you forget that and you think because you are in office you can do anything, right now we have 7 months. Your predecessor, Charlotte Osei, was booted out because of procurement breaches. You think you will survive long after this government is out of office? You are likely to suffer the same fate.